Priscilla Tricarico coming into you live. Welcome to my community. Welcome to this live container. I'm so glad you are here. If this is brand new for you, if you're brand new to my world, make sure you say hello because it's such a lovely thing to connect. If you watch me quite a bit, I love it when you say hi. Make sure you give me a love heart, a thumbs up, or just comment in the comment section so that I know that you're here. And let me know what you experience too. Like, let me know how you are processing this, what you're getting out of it. It's just so nice when people leave comments and they let me know what they experienced from the session. So today I'm going to be jumping into empowering, the first step in empowering your goddess. Yesterday I came live and I shared some things about our goddess, the different ways that we harness our inner goddess. And I really dive deep into the concept that our inner goddess can be there as an identity, as an archetype, someone that we come out and we behave in that way, we feel into it and we embody it. And we get this feeling because as youngsters, as we develop, one of the things that is important to us is our capacity to mirror, our capacity to tap into things that we want to feel into. And this capacity is so beautiful because we can pick out things that we love about the archetype of the goddess, and we can tap into it and mirror the things that we love, that we enjoy, and we get to create the kind of goddess within us that is for us, that suits us, that is the essence of us. And then I alluded to a different goddess, a different part of us, a part of us that is like the superconscious or higher self goddess. So it's separate from our subconscious or our mind-body kind of complex, that it's an energy that's not matter. And this energy is our superconscious, the goddess that's part of us that is not matter. So this part of us does not feel things. It doesn't experience good or bad, right or wrong, hot, cold. And I'm going to really tap into how to harness this part of us because it's such a valuable part of ourselves. And the more that we meet this part of us, the more that we harness this part of us, the more that we are able to tap into this part of us to shift our emotions so that we don't have to have these built up emotions within our body, because these are the things that hold us back from going big in our business, going big in the things that we really dream for, the things that we hope for, the things that we know are our mission. And I know you've downloaded things that you're like, this is what I came here for, this is what I'm here to do. And then when you hold back on that, when you step back on that, it's because there's imprints in the body. There's parts of you that are holding you back. It may seem like it's someone else that's holding you back. It may seem like it's a community. It may seem like that Facebook is an uncomfortable place to be. It may seem like there are certain social media platforms that are uncomfortable. But the projections you feel, the discomfort that's within the body is within you. And so these imprints shape us, these imprints cause us to feel a certain way, cause us to react a certain way. Either we hold back and stay small, or we fight it out and go for battles that really take our time, that suck our energy or drain our energy. And so today I really want to support you in harnessing your goddess, this superconscious part of you that gets to shape the landscape of you within you. And this power to do that is so important because we are meant to cycle through our emotions. But our emotions get blocked when the energy gets blocked, and there's a part of us that holds on to the emotion in the body. And these emotions have to complete themselves, right? It's like there's a cycle that's meant to complete itself. And on Saturday, I was doing a load of washing, and we were preparing to go for a big game for my son. No, actually Sunday. Doesn't really matter really, does it? But I was preparing to take him to an important game. But I really wanted to do some washing. And I thought I timed it okay. I put it in and I looked at what time we had to leave. But for some reason, I must have misjudged it, or it does a slightly different amount of minutes per cycle depending on how heavy it is. Like, it's quite an intuitive machine. And so we get to the time when we have to leave. And I look and it's still got like 8 minutes left. And I'm like, this is not going to cut it. It's not going to work. I can't be late with my son for his, like, it was a major game that's really important for his qualifiers. And so I push stop on the cycle. And I press the button to open the door. And it had done the spin. But even though I press stop, it doesn't reset itself. Like, I can take the washing out, but it needs to complete the cycle. And this is what we're like with our emotions. It's like, even though I press stop and I pressed open, it doesn't reset itself. It has to complete itself. So the next time when I wanted to do washing, I had to close the door and complete the 8 minutes left on the cycle. Even though the power was off, it's such an intuitive machine that it had to complete the cycle. So I had to push the door closed and press start and get it to finish with no clothes in there. I'd already hung up the clothes. And this was a different day that I'd hung up the clothes. And I had to go through and complete the cycle. And this is what our emotions are like in our body. They have to complete themselves. They have to go through a cycle within ourselves. And when something gets in the way of those emotions completing themselves, they're charged. They're ready. They're ready to go. Just like my washing machine was ready to go. It was waiting. Only I'm lucky the washing machine doesn't start yelling. The washing machine doesn't get frustrated. It doesn't do the things that we as humans do when our emotions get blocked or stopped in the cycle. Because within our body, when emotions are stopped, the energy builds up. It's like, imagine a wave coming onto the shore and we try to stop the wave, the power that would be, imagine the power that is held in there when we try to stop this massive wave. And this is what builds up in us. It's as if we try to stop something that has so much power, so much force, and we try to contain it. And when we try to contain these emotions, it works. Our body's able to do it. We have this really cool capacity in the body to suppress or push aside. And it's useful to have this capacity because there are times when we need to be able to push things aside. But pushing things aside long term, big emotions, pushing them aside, tucking them down and saying, I'm not interested in that right now. I'm going to take this other way. This is bypassing or suppressing our emotions. And when we do that, this is when health issues build up. This is when things that we don't want to happen build up in different parts of the body. And so I'm jumping in here because I feel like it's such an important thing to be able to understand our body, understand our connection to our higher self and that goddess within us, and also understand what we do within ourselves unknowingly that we don't notice. And I know myself that reaching success doesn't require us to tap into these different parts of us that hold down, that weigh down our health. Like, we can reach success even though we have these things in our body. The decade ago version of me was running a successful yearly 7-figure business, and I had these emotions building up in my body, and I started having health issues show up. And we don't have to shift these things to reach success in our business. But I vowed that I didn't want success unless it was in a way where I felt good within my body, in a way where I felt good within my health. So it's so important for me to feel that way. Then you're showing up in my world, you're showing up in my landscape. It means that there's a value to you as well, on how you feel within and how to tap into these feelings within yourself and shift anything that's in the way of you creating these amazing creations, in the way of creating these big things in your business, in your life, but in a way where you're not pushing aside parts of you that are important, not pushing aside feelings, not pushing aside emotions that are meant to go through this beautiful cycle that is in nature, the seed that turns into a seedling, that turns into a plant. And you know, these things can get blocked. These things can get stopped. It's like in our veggie patch. I had an area, a veggie patch, where it just didn't grow properly. Like, things didn't come out of seedlings, or even if they did, they just didn't flourish. But then we had a storm and a tree got knocked down, and it actually broke part of the veggie patch. But we then recreated the veggie patch, and the dirt from there still had seeds in there from many years ago. And this change in the environment, this change in the energy, this change in the feeling allowed them to blossom. And so what I want to help you experience here is a change within you, an energetic shift within you that allows the seeds that are planted to you, that are like given to you, your seeds of desire, your seeds of wanting to create something amazing in your business, the seeds of wanting to create a family, the seeds of wanting to create like loving relationships with your partner, with your children. These are the seeds that nourish us. These are the seeds that when we watch them grow, fulfill our lives with beautiful memories and experiences. And so I want to support you in being able to shift the energy, the landscape, just like it shifted in our property. And we had a place that wasn't particularly fertile, that wasn't really like showing these seeds a place where they could bud and thrive. And so if there are parts of your body, there are parts of your identities, parts of your experience that don't allow you to nurture your soul's mission, and it's the same as that garden bed, that there's something in there that is not allowing the magic to flow through, not allowing the magic to take ground and seed itself, to grow, for your creations to grow in the way that you receive the message. And so in today's experience, I wanted to give you a taste of what I'm going to be doing in my new program. So in the last live, I jumped on and I shared with you a new experience, a new mastermind experience that I have available. And at the moment, this experience is pre-launch, so it's only $555 to jump into this if it's something that resonates with you. And this experience is going to open up this goddess in you so that you can shift the fertile ground, so that you can shift the receiving of these messages, these like creations that you want to open up in your business. And we're going to really open that up in that container. But today I wanted to jump in and I wanted to share some things with you, and I wanted to share an experience with you, because I really feel it's just such a beautiful thing for all of my followers to be able to tap into. It's like a basic right that we have as humans, as women, as I work with women, to be able to access this goddess part of our superconscious. Because there's many of you that access the goddess identity in your subconscious, in your archetypes, in your identities. But today I want to help you harness, tap into, really embody the goddess that's in your superconscious, in your higher self. And the reason this is important in creating this fertile ground is because this is the part of you that doesn't access the polarity, right? And this is important because when we want to have a bird's eye view, when we want to transmute, when we want to be able to shift the fear to faith, we want to shift the pain to wisdom. Tapping into our superconscious to shift our subconscious is one of the most powerful ways that we can modulate this. I do energetic modulation, and this is an important facet of the energetic modulation, because a lot of things can be shifted through this facet where we get to transmute and change. We get to alchemize. We get to turn things into our creations, right? We get to shape things. We get to create gold and alchemize gold from whatever we want, whatever starting material we have within us, within our body. We get to create light, we get to create gold, we get to create whatever it is that we want when we alchemize that. And so this facet of the energetic modulation allows us to tap into our subconscious without tapping into the heaviness of our subconscious. You see, our subconscious is harder to mold when we just directly go through the subconscious, because it has so much matter. It has mass to it, right? Whereas the superconscious is not matter, it's energy. And so shifting the subconscious, the mass in that, through the superconscious field is quicker and much more effective. Just imagine trying to create something that has mass and how hard it is to shift that, right? It's like, imagine you have a boulder, a rock boulder, and you want to change the shape of it. You can change the shape of it, right? It's like you can chisel away bits, and people, sculptors, create an art out of this and make amazing sculptures by chiseling out and shaping the physical mass of a rock. But when we have the power of the superconscious to shift things, we don't have to chisel away at our pain. We don't have to chisel away at it. We get to shift it and make it. We get to create our own canvas, because there is no mass. It is just energy. So we get to, I guess it's like this lightness. We get to shift and change it to however we want, because it's a different state. A great way that I understood it, and one of my mentors, was like the physical state of like water can change from ice, which is like a solid, to liquid, which is like it's more flowing, to a state where it's evaporated, where it's like no longer bound into a container. And this is what energy is like compared to what mass is like. And our subconscious, the thinking is very heavy. It's like a mass because it's linked within our mind, in our body. It's intertwined within us. So shifting and shaping that through talking is harder. It's like chiseling away. But when we tap into our superconscious, there is no polarity there. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. So we get to shape things, we get to shift things, because the energy is much more free-flowing. It's not bound by the mass. And so we get to change things without needing to tap into the fear or the pain that's linked with it. We get to shift things at a superconscious level and harness this goddess within us. Now, I'm just going to jump in with a caveat here. Not everything can be shifted through this energetic type of modulation, this energetic transmutation. A lot of things can. But my somatic modulation is to shift things in the body level. And that is tapping into a different portal. And it's not the chiseling away. It's a creation in the somatic field. It's not a shaping by looking at what's wrong with us. It is a creating amazing connections. But today I'm going to share with you the superconscious way, because this allows us to shift things within the cycle. And the reason this is important is because a lot of people shift things by feeling them, because the cycle of emotions needs to be felt, right? Because we've learned there's so many people that used to bypass their feelings. So many of our ancestors used to push us back from feeling our feelings. And we know that this just halts the process. And just like in the washing machine, how I press stop, it's still wanting to complete even though I said stop. You know, if our parents tell us to stop crying, or if our parents tell us to cheer up and be happy, if we're told to suppress our emotions and hold back our emotions because it's not the right timing or it doesn't feel right, and we learn this and we don't follow through on the cycle within us, this builds up energy, right? So we've learned that bypassing our emotions is not the thing. But then often what happens is people step into going, okay, I'm going to feel my emotions now. I'm going to let the cycle go through. But what I found with my clients is that just feeling the emotions, when they've got so many components compounding it, hurts a lot. And it can cause us to feel, either we feel it and it eventually subsides, or we feel a part of it and a part of it ends up being suppressed because it's too heavy to go there. And so what I want to address here is that these emotions need to complete themselves. And whether you are at the stage where all you need to do is just feel it, then you don't need to go through this process. Then if feeling it is simple, if tapping into the sadness is available for you, and after an hour of crying you let it go and it doesn't come back again, then all you need to do is feel it in your body and let it flow through. This is our natural process. This is how we're built. But when we have built up compounded emotions, either physically it blocks us within the body or subconsciously it blocks us. And when that happens, you may go through a cycle of crying and it feels better, but then the same pattern comes back again over and over and over again, but just in a slightly different way, just in a slightly different lesson. But the flavor of it, the essence of it, is similar to what you've experienced before. Then this is an emotion that hasn't completed itself, hasn't cycled through within itself. And so this is held by stickiness, it's held by charge, it's held ready to like fight, flight or fawn or freeze whenever something triggers you. And so this is what I want to help you identify and help you shift. Because when we harness our goddess, this superconscious part of us that doesn't get pulled into the fear, that doesn't get pulled into the pain, she only taps into faith. She only taps into the wisdom from the pain. She alchemizes wisdom from pain. And when you can tap into her, there is so much that you can shift within the subconscious realms, the things that hold us back, the fears, the charges, the unnecessary compounded emotions that aren't just our feelings of sadness, but they're feelings of sadness that have shame and guilt, the feelings of sadness that have built up so big and so heavy that we crack it, or we become enraged, or that we overshoot because we've had it build up for so long. And these are the things I want to support you in noticing within yourself and alchemizing it, so that your goddess, your superconscious, has the capacity to tap into the past experiences that have shaped you into this compounding, that have caused you to be different to how you are meant to be, how you want to be, how you strive to be, the identity, the real you that is within you, that is ready to open up. And so this experience, what we do is we tap into that superconscious goddess part of us. And because she doesn't have the fear and the pain, we get to have a bird's eye view and look at the strings, the connections, because all of the imprints in our body go back and go to a stem, a root. And whether that's a past life, whether that's really early on in our experience, when our soul connects into the egg and the sperm, when, you know, that beginning where the soul and body meet, the energy and mass meet when we're created, or whether it's in those formative years where we form these parts of our personality, these parts of us that have had a bad experience, and then we sort of like bring that back over and over again and cycle it. These habits, these compensations that we make in the reality of our human selves. And so tapping into this part of you is powerful, because we get to do a search within our body. We get to do a search within our subconscious and find the facets that have built down, that have like stopped the cycle of our emotions from going through their natural course. In going through our natural course in a way where we get to feel it, and then it subsides. We learn our lesson and then it subsides. So I'm going to really support you in tapping into her so that you can really allow her to direct this within you. Your goddess, your superconscious, is such a valuable part of you that gets to direct your transformation. Like, she gets to be the connective piece that connects your identity of who you are, your essence, to your higher self, to your soul, and then to God, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever it is that you conform to. This piece is the interface between you, yourself, your matter, your physical matter, your body, your thoughts, your experiences, and then your soul. And then your soul connected to God, the universe, Mother Nature. This is the interface connection that we all get to connect through. And I was having a conversation with my son yesterday, actually. It was quite an intelligent conversation. He said to me, Mum, the soul isn't really anything. And I get what he meant. It's like you can't feel it, you can't touch it, but it's there. And I said to him, I said, there is something there. It's not a mass, but it's present, because it's so different when you have someone that is alive and has their soul present within the body versus a soul that's left the body. So it is a plausible thing. It shapes our mass, but it isn't our mass, right? And it directs the energy within our mass to a certain extent, right? And then our physical shape, our physical form, and this is what I was talking about before, the somatic part of it is like our soul affects our body, but there's a point where repetitive patterns happened for so long that there's a block even from our soul affecting it. So this connection that I'm going to share with you will be able to shift a lot of things in the body. But if you've had repetitive patterns over and over again that have shaped the physical body, there are some things that then need a somatic component to open up the energetic path, to allow the superconscious energies to really shift it through to its highest level. And so today, as we tap into this part of us, tap into this directive force, really open up this directive force. What I want you to see this experience is you're creating a map for your superconscious, your goddess, to your body, right? It's like when you are wanting to go somewhere and you give instructions to a map, like you type it in and you say, I want to go to New York, or I want to go to London. We get to do that. We get to do that with our superconscious. We get to direct it. We get to direct it and say, this is what I want to create. Can you support me in creating that? And the support that she provides is not only in helping you feel the direction towards your dreams, but she can also transmute the fear into faith. She can transmute the pain into wisdom. And this, when you can harness that, when you can allow her to direct the things that she's meant to direct, it's like opening up the job description for a composer that gets to compose the orchestra. It's like she composes the transmuting, the alchemy, the shifting within you. She will pick the parts that are the root cause, the events, the original events that caused that emotion to become stuck within, and she'll find it, she'll seek it for you. She will find those parts of you, and she will support you in alchemizing the fear into faith and the pain into wisdom. And so in this, make sure that you've got a comfortable place to sit. How are you, Blangelica? It is so lovely to see you. I am so happy to share this with you. This is so powerful. And, being in connection with our goddess, this superconscious goddess part of us, is going to bring so much richness to your life. So I'm so glad you're here experiencing this and tapping into this. So let's begin. Let's open this up. Let's really feel into this goddess part of us, this superconscious part of us, and allow her to come into our experience. So as you sit there or stand, I'm sitting, I like sitting. I feel like this experience is really nice to have a closed eye experience in a place where you are really comfortable and grounded. So some of you, if you prefer to lie down, I do this lying down sometimes, especially if I do have quite a fair few emotions built up. That supportive gravity on the ground is just so beautiful. But for the sake of being here, a lot of the sessions I do are seated, because our sit bones get to sit on the chair and we get to support ourselves and still be in connection with each other, with how we see each other. If you want, you can open your eyes and watch, or as I prefer to close my eyes and go internally. And that, to me, I get to visualize, or I get to feel within. Like some people are really visual and they can see things happening within them as the goddess transmutes, as the goddess alchemizes. But not everybody's able to tap into that visualization sense, so don't worry if you can't. If you're more auditory and you hear the process, or you're more like a feeling based, you feel the process, or you're just knowing based, you just know that it's completed, that the cycle's completed, and it's like it's no longer being held in your body, it's no longer holding you back. So let's tap into that. Tap into whatever feels good for you in the moment, to experience and allow your superconscious, your goddess. Call her forth and allow her to be present. Superconscious, can you hear? Are you here? Yes. And when your goddess signals back, when your superconscious signals back to you and allows you to feel her presence, then we can shift into the next phase. Now, to begin with, what I really like is allowing my voice to connect to your superconscious, your goddess. And this works really well, especially in the beginning, so that you can allow her to direct you through my voice. I will give you cues to guide her. I will give you cues to show her how to do this. And so if you can feel your goddess present, that you've tapped into your goddess, just ask for permission for your goddess to connect to my goddess, my superconscious, and allow them to connect so that they can communicate with each other, to know and direct what is shifting, what needs to shift in your body, in your experience. And so just allow that to happen if you feel that you are ready to do that. All of this is your conscious choice, right? I will never be able to shift anything in you unless you choose it or allow it, right? This goddess part of me is supporting and meeting the goddess part of you for your support, for your betterment. And so if at any stage you choose you don't want that to happen, you are in the power of doing that. These goddess connections are always a conscious choice to begin with. You have the power, you get the choice. And that just feels nice, you know. We have the power within us to choose to change, or we have the power within us to choose to stay the same. It's our right to stay the same if we want. But if you choose to change in this moment, if you choose to move forward, then just state that within yourself. Just voice that and allow your goddess and check with her whether this is something that she's ready to connect to my goddess and shift that within. And if you get a yes, if you're ready to move forward, I'm going to direct the superconscious to notice any resistance, notice anything that's in the way of you shifting, of you changing. And what I've realized here is the beginning of what needs to happen. We need a direction before we notice. And I've just had my goddess inform me that we need a direction. So let's create a direction, because we don't just want to find things that are blocked within us, right? So for the intention of this, we want to find something small to shift, because when we are in this space of first connecting in, something small is a good way to tap into this experience. So let's tap into an experience of how you feel when you go live on your social media platform, right? When it comes to our communication skills, when it comes to our confidence, when it comes to sharing our light, our magic, our medicine. One of the big things that can hold us back is like this jolt of not wanting to show up on social media, this jolt of not wanting projections from others, not wanting judgments from others. So the first thing is addressing that experience of how it feels to show up in front of others, how it feels to show up after we've had something hurt us. And so I'm going to make the direction of this, the direction of building a power within you to show up on your social media presence on a live with confidence, so that your public speaking is enhanced. So I just want you to jump into this, and this is going to be relevant for you whether you are first coming out and doing your lives or whether you've been doing lives for decades, because there's always something we can evolve, there's always something we can shape. So what I want you to do is tap into this experience of you going live on your social media platform in your full essence, in your full power, as the true you, showing up in front of your community, in front of your people. And you get to be you, and you get to voice your voice. You get to share your medicine unhindered. And I want you to tap into what that feels like. I want you to tap into that experience of you doing it unhinged. This authentic you coming up on social media, and you can share your heart, you can share your soul without your body holding you back. And just notice what it feels like, whether you feel it as a knowing, whether you hear yourself like saying something to yourself like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Or you visualize yourself up in front of others, just in your true light, in your true form of who you are, and you just, it feels so good to see you in that, see you as that, see you as embodying that. And this is the direction. Allow your goddess to feel, see, experience, know, tap into this. And then allow her to set this as a direction, just like you put in the direction into your GPS. The street name, the number, like the clarification, so that your goddess knows where you're going. And then now she is ready. Now she's ready to take the next step. Now that she knows the direction, she can sift through different parts of you to find what's holding you back. And so the first thing I've noticed is this experience of the world. Superconscious, do you see this past experience of pain? This experience where it hurt so much to show ourselves in front of the world, where it was difficult just to be here, feeling the polarity. And what my goddess is showing me is an experience where I first came to the world. When I first came from my spirit version of me into the physical body, the mass of me, into the fetus. And I had this experience where my mother had like an electric shock. And it was such a jolt. It was so painful. It was like, this is not what I expected. Like on my journey here, I had such a big mission. On my journey here, I had so many things to do. It just felt so bubbly and alive and so exciting, where I was in my soul, and I chose my family that I wanted to come down into the physical reality in. And it's like, when I was in it and experiencing it, it wasn't what I expected. And when I felt the physical pain of that jolt, it was like Do I even want to be here? And so just let your goddess find that original event where it's like the jolt, the beginning of why it hurt to be here. And just notice that. Notice that it hurt and how you reacted to the hurt. The very first hurt that came along, it was like, oh, it's like a punch in the guts. It's like a burning when you touch fire. It's just like, why is it so bad? And that feeling of like, why is it so bad? Why do I have to feel this so deeply? Why is it so different to what I expected? And because you're feeling this through your superconscious, you don't have to go into the depths of the pain. And I just wanted to share this with you because a lot of people are used to doing this in the physical realm and going through it in the physical realm where they experience it and they let it weigh them down. But in this process, what I want you to experience is your goddess sifting through these experiences, and you don't need to go into the actual physical pain of it. This allows us to touch it and alchemize it before it goes through and happens in the physical body. So as we do this together, I'm going to guide your goddess to seeing, feeling, knowing these experiences and alchemizing it in the superconscious field. And then through the call and after the call, it's going to ripple through to your physical body. And then emotions may come up, and that's okay, let them cycle through. But as we're going through the process, we allow them to shift and transmute in the superconscious realm. Allow the goddess to do it first, do the search and transmute it in that realm, and then it'll flow through. It'll come through just like rain. It'll come down and like transmute through the different layers of you. And so really enjoy that, really tap into that. And this experience where you feel this pain is a necessary part of our human experience. And there's parts of you that will want to turn back, that'll want to change it, that'll want to say, I want to do it again. Like, I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want to feel that feeling. But as your goddess is witness in this moment, notice how the polarity of our feelings is important. The value that that brings, the power that that brings. And each time we have an experience that hurts us, that brings forth our fear, that it allows us to go through the wave of learning, the wave of evolution. So just notice that. And then I'm going to get your superconscious, your goddess, to find an event where you felt uncomfortable jumping onto your social media profile and sharing something important that you felt like you were judged, you felt like you were ridiculed, you felt like you couldn't be you. And just notice that, and just notice what comes up for you. And just notice what it is that caused it to come along, what it is that caused it to have such a painful meaning. And I'm going to get your superconscious to transmute the pain. And your superconscious will know how to do this. The only thing in these like sample sessions is that I'm not able to converse with you to take it deeper, to take it further into the depths of what resistance may pop up in your, like your protector controller, your inner child. These are parts of you that will come in and not be comfortable yet, perhaps, or maybe they're not ready to shift this. So what I'm going to do is, if you do have parts of you that are uncomfortable, that aren't ready to shift this, I'm going to connect to your inner child, your protector controller, if they give me permission. And we're going to ask if they're ready to shift a certain percentage of it, because it may be too much to shift the whole amount. And my superconscious, can you connect through to the inner child, the protector and controller? Whatever parts that have built up these charged emotions, that have built up these parts of us to protect us, are they ready to communicate? Are they ready to shift 5%, 10% of this experience, to open up and evolve, to really take the pain into wisdom and open up the faith to growing the business more and more, to connecting with more clients, to connecting with more people and impacting more people. Yes. Superconscious, do you see this event and how it is shaped? How that it shaped the holding back, how it shaped the worry about being too loud or being too much, the compounded emotions where it's held you back from being your true essence, your authentic self. Superconscious, transmute the pain. Transmute the pain and turn it into wisdom. Shift that energy from holding back to creation. And your goddess, your superconscious within, knows exactly what to do. She will take these compounded, built-up emotions, which are like molehills over a beautiful pitch that's ready for a game, the game of life to play itself out, the game of creation, where you get to show up as your authentic you. That these compound emotions are like molehills in a beautiful pitch, things that trip you up, things that make it hard for the game to proceed. And so your goddess, your superconscious, knows exactly how to take the dirt that is bound to trip you, that is bound to get in your way, and smooth it out to a beautiful playing surface where it feels nice to be you in the social media space, where it feels good to be you and be present here. That your goddess knows exactly what to do to transmute. Your superconscious knows exactly what to do through the goddess. Superconscious, do a massive change history and alchemize the pain into wisdom. Alchemize all that is needed. Just allow her to create the magic, to find the parts that are ready to be shifted, to find the parts that are ready to change from ice, solid, into the energy that allows it to flow through. So you can feel it to feel what you're meant to feel, and then move to a new creation, so that it takes through the cycle. Superconscious, open up the cycle of creation and allow the energies to flow. Shift anything that needs to be shifted in this moment, that needs to be shifted to open up the pathway to creation. Superconscious, shift the pain into wisdom. Allow it to come through. Notice the wisdom that comes through from those experiences and what the body's trying to tell you with the anxiety of showing up, the things you do that make you procrastinate in showing up on your social media profile, or change things when you show up on your social media profile, to walk on eggshells or to people please when you show up on your social media profile. The things that hold you back from sharing your true light. Superconscious, shift the pain, shift the imprints that cause the fear, that block the progression of our soul's mission. Yeah. As we get to show up, we get to tap into the God within us. We get to tap into the universe and the collective and the truth of why we're here, the truth of what we're here to share. And just allow that to really open up for you now. Allow that to come closer. Superconscious, connect all the memories back into the matrix of the universe. And then we come back into ourselves and we thank our Goddess, we thank our Superconscious, as this has brought us closer to our creations, brought us closer to showing up in our true essence. And as you feel this and allow this to ripple through in your day, in your week, make sure you message me, make sure you comment on here, make sure you let me know the changes that you feel. The art of harnessing our Superconscious, our Goddess, is such an important part of my energetic modulation. And I'm so honored to be able to come here and share this with you in a free-flowing capacity. Like, you get to tap into this, you get to receive this, and just by being present here, this may be all you need to shift and allow you to open up more on your social media profile. But if there's something that you'd love to deepen, if there are things that you know that could support your Goddess, support your Superconscious in directing you where you want to go, into your big dreams, into growing your business, then make sure you DM me, because this expose program, this container, if you are a fit for it, is going to blow your mind. We're going to tap into experiences like this, but catered for a small group. So I get to really connect with your Goddess, and you can connect with my Goddess, and we get to direct you exactly where you want to go. And we get to experience this in a group setting together, but in a small group, rather than it being, a big group out on my social media profile. But I get to tap into things that are related to you specifically through the group. And if this is something that you resonate with, then make sure you DM me, and I can see if you're a fit for the program. If this is something that you've experienced into today, and you want to share it with people in your family, in your like friendship network, with your community, then make sure you share this. This is such a beautiful experience. And as we as women get together into these circles and we uplift each other's goddesses, support each other's goddesses, rather than pull into our stories, our fears, and the things that hurt us. I'm not saying that we can't connect through hurt, through vulnerability, but our biggest leading edge connection, if we can have that as our goddess, our superconscious, then we are going to create such amazing things as a collective. So I'm really honored that you are here. I'm really honored that you joined me for this process. And I'm so excited for those of you that are going to connect with me further, that are going to be part of the Expose program. We are going to blow this through the roof. All right, have an awesome day, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.